Turn 18. Not bad. Got my lictors. Battle in Ukrema. He didn't intercept me. Nobody did, so I just rolled over the province defense and got to move in. The forces of Vanarus moved south to take out Ermor, and they still... I was looking here, I still can't find any supply items. So, like... But they don't seem to be starving. I'm not entirely sure why that is. Because you would think that they would. None of these sages have any nature magic or anything. So you'd think that you'd see the starving status effect on some of these guys. But I guess not. I guess that province had enough supplies for him, unless... Oh, he has a supply bonus of 50. Okay. That's why this big lug is with him. Because he gives 50 supply bonus. I didn't notice that. I never noticed that before. Okay. That's fair enough. So he's keeping them alive. And of course the skin shifters require... It's not that they require fewer supplies, it's that they're less likely to starve. So, upkeep cost was 62 gold, so some of my units have deserted. That's fine. Commanders don't desert. It's only human units, so in this case, it's the barbarians. My barbarians are costing me upkeep. They cost 10 gold a year, so almost 1 gold per month. And my human commanders, my random 2 commanders here, and my human priests, also cost upkeep. They cost 2 gold a month for the priests, and about 3 gold a month for the commanders. So, some of my barbarians are deserting, but that's fine. I free spawn large numbers of barbarians. That's one turn, because I moved all those guys off last turn. That's one turn of barbarian spawn. So I'm spawning them much more quickly than I'm losing them, and they're building up to actually be quite a force. I mean, I have over 50 barbarians now, and they're kind of adding to my chaff, which is great. Speaking of chaff, let's get all of this chaff that isn't ghouls. I've shuffled my troops around. I've assigned Crawler all of my sacreds, so he's got 21 lictors and 8 knights at the moment. Normanthu has most of my... has a big chunk of chaff here. Scrofula has all of the soulless. To be honest, I don't really want the soulless. They basically exist to cause HP route problems, and they have magic resistance 4, so they get blasted by banishment. So I pretty much just want them to die. So I'm sending Scrofula out with 80 soulless, and he's going to... he's just gonna go attack provinces and die. I'm actually gonna send him down here, and Scrofula is set to stay behind troops, so maybe if Vanarus doesn't come back, if they come over this way, he'll take this province. If they do come back, he'll get murdered, and that's fine. Scrofula himself should probably survive, because the army will HP route, and he will run. I'll put him way in the back there. So he'll run while the soulless are standing around dissolving and being hacked to bits, and distracting the enemy, and that will happen pretty quickly. And then he'll just flee off the battlefield, and he should be fine, because he has lots of retreat provinces. Beyond that, I'm not doing all that much, to be honest. I do have another Mound King spawned here, so I've gotten over the hump that I had early in the game when I had no commanders. Now I'm starting to have plenty of commanders. So Foul Flesh can come back there. Because, yeah, I've spawned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Mound Kings at this point. So I've gotten plenty of people to shuffle around. So I don't need to recruit any more censors for sure. These 2 will be fine. Later in the game I could potentially thug them, but at this point it's debatable whether I'll actually reach that point. So Murgos is taking these barbarians, and he's going to go club down these guys in Henwood. And Scrofula, Crawler, and Carnage are all moving out. Crawler is actually moving back down here so that he can pick up more lictors. I've got 6. Next turn I'll have 14 in total, so he'll be up to 35, which will be excellent. By the way, the reason why I have lictors on a Mound King, Mound Kings have 40 leadership, and it's not undead leadership that determines morale bonus for undead, it's regular leadership. I don't know why, but that's true. So My sensors, which have regular leadership 15, give a morale penalty to their squad, and lictors do actually have morale. So that being so, I've just given them to a Mound King so that they have better morale, because if I give them to Gravesoul, he gives them a morale penalty. And then since he only has 1 squad's worth of leadership, he gives them more morale penalties if he has 2 squads. So, ironically, your sensors cannot actually lead your lictors effectively. They can lead your mindless undead just fine, because mindless undead don't care about morale penalties, they're always morale 50. But lictors, specifically, need to be led by Mound Kings. Everyone else that Ermor can recruit has really, really low standard leadership. It's only the Mound Kings that have 40. Just a little fun fact about Ermor. So I am reviving another Archbishop, which reminds me I need to change this guy. Auric Ilum was my first Archbishop, if I recall correctly, so I'm going to name him Churchill. This is an in-joke about what's going on in the Discord, where I'm portraying myself as more or less Great Britain under siege by the Nazis, and I'm posting, propaganda and slightly reworded versions of Churchill speeches and all that kind of good stuff. So, Archbishop Churchill is a main character here. And beyond that, I'm also probably going to name somebody. I'm going to throw in a few more World War II names in here, especially if I get a censor who does something really impressive, like Carnage doesn't have any kills. We'll see. We'll see what else I do. Maybe I'll just keep renaming my archbishops. But for now, I think that should be enough. They do have these armor negating attacks and 25 hit points, so if you have the right bless, you can thug out archbishops pretty well. I did not take a thug bless. I didn't take like regeneration or anything, but I did the best I could. I did the incredible Mr. Bones is doing his best. In terms of events, got some fire gems, which is pretty neat. 11 is probably going to be my death gem income for the foreseeable future, unless I get a big gold deposit event. That's why I'm taking provinces, honestly. The more provinces you have, the higher your chances of having events, and since I took luck 3, my events are likely to be good. It's not a linear progression, but it is a progression of some kind. I don't know exactly what the math behind it is, but more provinces does give you more chances of having events, I believe. So we're going to do that. We're also sending Typhon here, once again with a whole whacking heap of soulless. And he is going to actually put those guys back because they're good. They're good skeletons. And then take the bad skeletons with you. So he and his bad skeletons, take that bad skeleton with you. That's a good skeleton. So these 2 priests are taking good skeletons, ghouls, and long dead horsemen, and running back to Ermor with them. Typhon is more or less committing Harikiri. But it's okay. He's taking these soulless once again, and then some garbage skeletons. And he's going to go see if he can take that province. If I lose him, it's no big loss. If he retreats, even if this province is taken by Vanheim, he will still have a retreat province, unless Ulm also goes and takes that, which Ulm might. Ulm might advance to Inasia and take it. That said, Ulm is just giving me time right now, and time is what I need. Ideally, I would go take this palisade before they upgrade it, but I can't possibly cut my way through 170 Ulmish units defending a palisade. I just can't. I need Shadow Blast before I can even potentially, theoretically, do anything about that. So, we're going to have to deal with that. Now, Bolt of Unlife is also pretty solid against Ulm. It's just single target is the problem. And, Netherbolt is also good if you can target mages with it, because it feeble minds people. But this is, of course, the prize. That's the goal for sure. We've only got 88 points of research this turn because people are moving around. Why do we only have 88 points? Oh, that's right. I moved him here, so you need to search for magic sites. Because more death gems. I feed on death gems almost literally. Please give me death gems. I need them like a fat kid needs cake. I need them like the desert needs the rain. Please give me death gems. So, I'm only reviving 3 lictors this turn. Actually, I'm not gonna have 8 down here. I'm gonna have 5 because I'm reviving 3 with Mr. Lictor, and then 2 with Churchill and Dustheart. I'm also reviving 1 with Gravesoul. And over here, I'm also reanimating ghouls, so I'm converting the rest of my population into ghouls. It's not many, but it's some, and every ghoul will help defend the fort. So, that's the plan. Next turn, we'll get back into the swing of reviving 8 lictors per turn. And our lictor pile should build up pretty quickly, so we'll be up to 26 next turn, plus knights. I do have 1 knight who spawned this turn, plus those 6 lictors. Oh well, I have those 6 plus another 5. So, yeah, we'll have lictors. Let's just leave it at that. We will have lictors, and of course, we also have barbarians. So that's great. Those barbarians also provide significant fort siege defense if I keep them here, and I can give them to Mound Kings and send them out to club down Olmishmen, which is a job they do pretty well because Olmishmen have low defense and high armor, and barbarians have high attack and high damage. So that's turn 18. I'll see you all in turn 19, where hopefully we will reclaim some of our rightful Ermorian clay and begin deriving more free spawn from it. And we can also get our priests into Ermor, start reviving with them, or reanimating rather. And we will also be preparing for the next assault of Ulm. Basically, if I can pretty much hold on to this stuff, at least a significant fraction of it, I'll be happy. Of course, pushing out would be even better, but well, we can only do what we can. Ulm has me contained at this point, so he's doubtless expanding in other directions, and Entei is quite a good player. So I'm quite confident that despite the blows I've dealt him, he can recover from this, and so long as I am kept under control, he will overwhelm me. Vanarus is definitely helping him in that way, but we'll see what transpires. In other diplomacy, excuse me. In other diplomacy, Uruk is definitely not interested in attacking me, which is great. They were trying to negotiate for 38, and I was like, yeah, sure, go take 38, but I don't think Vanarus is gonna let you. I think... yeah, Uruk didn't have enough troops nearby to do anything about it. I was about to say I think Uruk attacked and bounced off Vanarus, but actually I doubt that happened. I don't think that's actually practical. I don't have any money, so I can't recruit any mercenaries. Darn. At least Pythium took the heavy cavalry away from Ulm. That's good. So, yep. I'll see you in turn 19. Okay, turn 19. Things are... well, it's an interesting situation. We had 2 battles where we got wiped, and then some battles where we did fine. So, we reconquered Shinuyama we reconquered Cormark from Shinuyama. We did not reconquer Shinuyama. We also reconquered Spires of Ascension. In Light Hills, we bounced because he dropped his army into Light Hills. His whole army pretty much moved into Light Hills. He's got 72 Black Plate Infantry and 29 Guardians, a total of approximately 100 Black Plate armored troops. We're not stopping him. We're slowing him down, but we're not stopping him. In Omiya, we also bounced off of Vanarus's stack. He's got 140 units, or well, 138 now. The Vanarusian Berserkers and the Chud Skin Shifters are by far the more dangerous part. However, in Rim Mountains, we got 1,500 gold. And a Staff of Corrosion, whatever a Staff of Corrosion does. I don't think I've ever made that. Oh, it lets you cast Acid Bolt. That's kind of cool, actually. So, we've got a Staff of Corrosion, and we've got an Elf Bane, which does 12 magic AP damage. The Battle Axe only does 9 damage, and it's not armor piercing, so we're going to actually give that Elf Bane to... well, we can't, because there's no lab here. Well, then. Let's actually continue the fort construction real quick. Actually, you You build a lab. You continue the fort construction. Since we never lost the place, we can now upgrade this fort and make it from a palisades into a fortified city with 300 wall integrity. As you can see, fort defense is going up. We were reanimating ghouls here. Unfortunately, we ran out of population, so we can't do that anymore. So instead, we are going to set these guys to reanimate long dead, whatever long dead they can, horsemen and warriors. We are also, Grave Soul is reanimating lictors. Except actually he needs to patrol. So, the point of this is, we've reconquered these provinces. We're actually going to build a temple here with Carnage. And we're going to move out Ymic to build a temple here in Spires of Ascension, since we temporarily have the funds. A temple takes 400 gold. We will have 400 gold still next turn, so we'll build 2 more temples real quick. We're moving and patrolling everybody here because I'm betting, well, here's the thing. If he moves to sit on Ermor, I don't care. I have 300 wall integrity. I have current fort siege defense of 72. That will hold me for at least a turn. His army, I think, has north of 200 siege attack, but that's not enough to bust the walls in one turn. And even if he does bust the walls, he then has to contend with the incredible Mr. Bones, who admittedly does not have great magic yet, but quite frankly, an innate caster with 33 natural protection and 217 hit points, who is slash and pierce resistant and shock and fire and poison resistant. Basically, he's not going to die. I mean, they would have to surround him with their whole army and just beat on him for him to actually die, which isn't going to happen. And since he's an innate caster, even having pretty garbage spells works out really well for him, because he can do things like he can cast Shockwave without caring, which does armor negating damage, or he can cast Fire Blast, which hits a big area around him, and he'll just be casting spells every round just by himself. He also can he can cast Acid Bolt and Magma Bolts and all kinds. And I researched Shadow Bolt. Next turn, I will also have Bolt of Unlife, which hurts more. That's literally the difference. Bolt of Unlife does more damage. Other than that, they are the same spell. Bolt of Unlife does not paralyze those it doesn't kill. But sometime pretty soon, we'll be up to level 5. And when we're up to level 5, we'll have Shadow Blast. And Shadow Blast will make everything very, very much funner. So, we're moving everybody over here. We're collecting our troops in Rim Mountains. The main body of our troops is 13 Knights of the Unholy Sepulchre and 33 Lictors. The reason why we're going over to Rim Mountains is because he could bust Rim Mountains in one turn if he attacked there. So, we have to meet him there. We have to defend this province first, because this province isn't under direct threat yet. And because this province has the incredible Mr. Bones, who is by himself a very potent defense. So, Crawler has taken all his troops up north to Rim Mountains. We're taking all the barbarians collapsing into Rim Mountains. We've got a total of about 60-some. Nurmanthu is bringing his troops back down to Rim Mountains. He's got about 80. All told, I have 140, 62, 200, about 300 units collapsing on Rim Mountains. And basically everyone is going to surge forward with a line of lictors in the middle. And they're just gonna do their level best to wreck shop. Grave Soul is patrolling, everyone else is busy reanimating. Grave Soul will patrol because basically he is leading some of the troops, and I need him to cast Unholy Blessing and then spam Protection of the Sepulchre. It's not necessary against Vanarus, actually, because Vanarus has not brought priests. So actually, I'll tell you what. Unholy Power, I wish he could cast Power of the Sepulchre. I wish he was Holy 4. But in order to get Holy 4, I should have waited, is what I should have done. I should have waited and prophetized an Archbishop, because Power of the Sepulchre is a very, very potent area-wide buff. So that's another mistake that I've made. I've made plenty of mistakes playing Ermor. Like I said, this is my first time playing Ermor in Dominions 5, and I only ever played them like once in multiplayer in Dominions 4 and died very quickly. Not many people have a lot of experience playing Ermor just because it is so commonly banned and has been for a long time. But This army down here, not actually as scary as it looks. If we look at, what battle was it? Light Hills? It's not 200 units, it's 140 units. So I can handle that. And this army, that is just about accurate. It's 138 units, it says about 130. The dangerous ones are the skin shifters. The skin shifters will hurt my lictors very badly. And that's just kind of gonna have to be a sacrifice that I'm willing to make. Skin shifters have the quality that they can be dragged down by chaff. So I've got chaff ahead of the lictors and behind, all moving forward at the same time. So the goal is that the lictors will filter through the chaff, hit the skin shifters piecemeal, backed up by lots of chaff, and the chaff will suck up hits while the lictors do the murdering. He's got some crossbows, but not all that many. Honestly, these two battles, the only thing of consequence I lost was Mound Kings. I did lose 2 Mound Kings, and that did sting. I didn't like that. But everything's going alright. I'm building a lab here just so I can cast spells here if I want to, and so I can pick up items from this fort. I don't really, to be honest, I don't really need it. I may as well conserve the money, I suppose. The other thing I might do is move Flesh Feaster out to search for sites. Because that would save me 500 gold. Let's build it. I only need to build it once. And like I said, I'm upgrading this fort this turn, so everything should be pretty much hunky-dory. So, that's the turn. I'll see you all in turn 20. Alright, turn 20, and have I got news for you. We just got the other of Ermor's heroes, Itimu the Wraithlord. Itimu is hilarious. Actually, he's awful, is what he is, because he's a Wraithlord. And he also causes more fear than normal Wraithlords. But being a Wraithlord means... Also, he's a Dominion Summoner. He summons Shades. And he's a Reanimator Priest. But those aren't the important characteristics. The important characteristics are he's ethereal, and he's immortal. He has 1 month immortality, so if he dies, boom, he's back the next turn. Also, he has Protection 22, and really high stats, and 2 attacks, and it goes on, and he's Encumbrance 0, and he's Death 3. He has every quality that he needs to be awful. So... and it doesn't matter if he dies. You just throw him into things, and if he dies, he comes back. And you throw him into something, and if he dies, he comes back. It just doesn't... It literally does not matter. So, I have my army concentrated up here. I am moving out Flesh Feaster. Flesh Feaster is... Why is Flesh Feaster moving? He should be sneaking. Yes, please sneak. I've built a temple there. I'm building another temple there. That's all of my treasury, which is unfortunate. I'm a little bit worried about these Daibakemonos. Oh, maybe that's why he was moving. I'm also a little worried about this stack coming in to fight me, so that's why everyone is still patrolling here. I'm reanimating horsemen, reanimating long dead warriors, reanimating lictors, reviving 2 packs of lictors. Gonna be back up to 23 death gems next turn, so I will summon yet another archbishop to reanimate lictors for me. I have up to 9 lictors per turn. I will pause there, have to pause next turn in order to get up to 23, and cast another one. And overall, things are going fine. I mean, I've got Putrasketor and Itimu, so I've got both of my hilariously powerful heroes. Research-wise, I will be hitting Evocation level 5 before... they're not going to be able to kill me before I hit Evocation level 5. This fort is upgraded. Also, my patrolling murdered a ton of scouts. I murdered 5 scouts in 1 turn. And it's pretty good. It is pretty good. Anasia was lost, but that's why Itimu is going down here. This is where their army went, actually. So come to think of it, I'm actually going to send Itimu in there. And Itimu is literally just scripted to cast Skeletal Body on himself to make him Pierce Resistant and then attack. Pierce Resistance doesn't matter all that much because Ulm doesn't use piercing weapons that much. But it does mean that he'll take half damage from Iron Blizzard, because Iron Blizzard is piercing damage. So that's cool. Beyond that, researching, waiting, building up troops. The longer, like, I'm happy to wait. The longer I wait in here, the more of a stack I have. and it's not like the stack poses a problem to me. Unless I get up to more than 300 barbarians. Which, incidentally, I will eventually because my spawn rate is higher than my desertion rate. It'll be fine. It will just be absolutely 100% fine. Oh, and my income in Rim Mountains is never actually going to be 0, because I have this arena that brings in a tiny amount of gold per turn. Now, it'll be overwhelmed by the upkeep for my barbarians, which is what that is. But, yeah. So, I do have this big army. I could actually march out with it. And I'm tempted to do so, because Ulm's army actually... That's a really good idea. I can just go attack this province with my big stack. I have 33 lictors and 14 knights. I can set the knights up here, move these barbarians down. The knights are holding to attack rear. Shift these guys down as well. Yeah. That is the stuff. And Gravecaller is casting Unholy Power. I'm actually going to have him cast Unholy Power on the Knights, I think. Because they will be the attack rear line. So, we'll move the army and Gravecaller all out there. Flesh Feaster. Is there another good spell you could cast? No, there isn't. So yeah, just sneak up here. I've got Carnage. He's actually moving back down. I'm going to script Flesh Feaster to just run away. Well, Flesh Feaster is scripted Shadow Bolt. I'm actually going to, since it wouldn't make a difference if Shinuyama attacks, I'm actually just going to script him to retreat so as not to reveal that I have researched Shadow Bolt. Because I don't want people knowing what I've been researching. It's better if people think that I've been rushing for something else and haven't gotten there yet. The longer I can delay the revelation of the Shadow Bolt, the better. Ideally, the Shadow Blast, I'm sorry. Ideally, what I want to happen is Ulm marches in a huge stack that they've been spending all this time building up that represents a large resource investment and a bunch of priests and mages and everything. They march in to besiege one of my fortresses. I break the siege with 7 or 8 mages, and they all just immediately Shadow Blast the hell out of the Ulmish front line. And then my infantry sweep over and destroy the remnants. Because nothing in Ulm has high magic resistance. Literally nothing. Guardians even have 9 magic resistance. Their mages have Master Smiths have 14. Black Priests have 13, which is still not high for a mage. Most mages are 14 or 15. So, yeah. Priest Smiths, even. He's recruiting Black Priests, but so his infantry are all 9. Including his elite sacreds. And I hit them with Shadow Blast, and they will all die. They'll just go away. So, that is the plan. I want to spring that surprise on him. I want to crush Vanarus with troops. More or less to prove to him that I can. If I destroy his stack with my stack, then I think he'll probably just... not. At least I may be able to convince him to not. I may be able to convince him to just let it be what it is. You know, leave Ulm to do the fighting if you must. And then I can break Ulm with Shadow Blast. I have absolutely no doubt. He has a national spell, Tempering the Will, an earth spell that increases magic resistance. But even then it only increases it to 12 or 13 on Ulm's troops, which helps a lot, don't get me wrong. But it will not stop Shadow Blast from tearing huge holes in their lines. And if there's one thing I have, it's Death Gems. So, I am absolutely not scared of things that way. I could cast Arcane Probing in order to find astral sites to get astral income. But honestly, I want Putrascator researching, because he gets that sweet, sweet 26 research points. So yeah, that is the plan. I would also like to move somebody down here to pick those guys up. Maybe Roderick? Roderick, go down here and pick up some of these units. You can take the good skeletons and the long dead horsemen and get out of dodge with him. Nightworm, I spawned another another of these guys. So he will move in with the free spawn that he's got. Similarly, Ymik, after building this temple, will take his free spawn in. Carnage is already taking his free spawn in. I may want to go over there to Dragon Ridge, but not with this army, because this army would die to a stiff breeze. I mean, put army in quotes. This is not exactly an army, actually. This is just a small pile of garbage. And actually, even if these guys attack this province and take it, Flesh Feaster will still be hidden. He'll just not be able to search for magic sites. Tell you what, why don't you move over to that one? Odds are better. So yeah, that's the plan. My stack will move out in force, hit Wolvermore. Hopefully there'll be a cataclysmic battle, which I win. I do outnumber them approximately 2 to 1. I've got 100 units there, 50, 180 or so. Another 60 there, so about 240 and 70. Yeah, I outnumber them about 2 to 1. In Wolvermore, yeah, they have 138, actually more than 2 to 1. And yes, most of my stuff is garbage, and the Chewed Skin Shifters will hack through my garbage, but they will not hack through my Lictors quickly, and I do have my attack rear squads on both flanks, and they do not have a max width formation. They do have packs of Skin Shifters placed back here in order to provide guards against that kind of thing, but yeah, they're set on hold and attack. I'm not sure what they're set on hold and attack what. They may be on hold and attack closest. If they're smart, they are on hold and attack cavalry, because that will direct them towards my Knights of the Unholy Sepulchre. And he might be doing that, but I think I can slip him by anyway. And with all these Skin Shifters in the back, if they're tied up fighting my Knights and Long Dead Horsemen, then that gives my Lictors time to potentially just crunch through the front line, which they might be able to do. So that'll be the plan, and we'll see how it works. It's always a gamble because your chaff is always so garbage, but I also have these barbarians, and I think hopefully he doesn't quite figure on the killing power of the barbarians. I mean, barbarians are not good units, don't get me wrong, but they hit really, really hard when they hit. So they'll be able to kill some of the enemy units. And then my huge piles of chaff will kind of come crunching in after that, throwing javelins and generally being a huge nuisance. So we'll see how it goes. I might HP route myself. That is always a possibility with Ermor. But if I do, then probably the Grave Soul will get out, because Grave Soul I'm going to put by the back. And these guys, my commanders, we're going to set them to hold ×5. He doesn't have any cavalry, so I'm just going to set my commanders way at the back, the ones that don't need to be in a particular place. Gravecaller has to be in a particular place. But yeah, all these commanders I'll just set way at the back, and odds are they'll just run off the field and there won't be a problem. Could bring my ghouls, but I don't want to. I want to save my ghouls. So, that's the turn, and I'll see you all on turn 21. Turn 21, and I mean, to be fully honest, I feel like things are turning my way. There's a couple reasons for that. First, Vanarus has pulled back. They've pulled back to their fort here. Now, they do have a very, very large stack in their fort, about 370 units, which is almost as many as I have. I have over 200 here. Actually, this is over 250, almost 300. And then I have about 100 units here, all told, counting the ghouls. And about another 100 or so here, 120, 130 here. So that's a pretty beefy stack. However, two pieces of news. First of all, so Atimo has reconquered Anasia. Not much honestly happened. And we retook Wolvermore, which is over here with our big stack. And I have been contacted by Is, the Sea Elves, the underwater elvish nation, who so far on the Discord had been just absolutely, trying to rally people against me and attempting to attack Ermor, all the rah-rah fight the power stuff that you very commonly see. You can see their gem income here. Is an interesting nation. I'll talk about them in a bit, but the important thing is contacted me and was like, so told me basically to buzz off because he wants all of the territory for himself. which Ulm has done before. I have heard similar things from Shinuyama, and I believe it's also been said to Uruk. And I suspect, based on the fact that Vanarus just pulled back, I suspect it may have been said to Vanarus as well. So I think Ulm, and basically Is was so pissed off by this that they're now throwing their support behind me secretly. So they're going to give me gems, and they're going to give me they're just going to give me their death gems. I'm going to send them, actually, I said I would send them what I could, so I am going to send them my water gems, since they can use them a lot better than I can. And then what the heck, I'm also going to send them my nature gems, you know, as a token of good faith, or rather my nature gem, as a token of good faith. Because death gems are infinitely more valuable to me. So, yeah, so they're going to send me gems, and they're going to take this province to kind of pretend like they're participating, and I'll take it back at some point. And other than that, they're just going to stay in the water and out of my hair. So, basically, I just have to fight Ulm, and I guarantee I can do okay against Ulm. It won't be fantastic, but I think I can handle him. Vanarus will be a little bit more troublesome. It is turn 21, and my research has, of course, been bad. So I anticipate they're going to be, you know, they're going to do something to me. We're reviving another Archbishop with Putrascator this time, because he has less research than the incredible Mr. Bones, and so I want Mr. Bones to be researching. We're reanimating Lictors. We're not actually summoning any more Lictors this turn because we need to revive that Archbishop. But, we're reanimating skeletons over here, so our free spawn is actually pretty high. We've gotten another Mound King, Bayer al-Adu, who is leading this little force back up north, along with Roderick the Priest. Unfortunately, I can't recruit indie priests in either of those provinces, nor can I recruit them up there. I am going to recruit one there, since I have the money for it, and it would only be Shinuyama that could attack me, and he doesn't have any forces in place. He could potentially attack me with stealthy Bakemono, Obakemono, or not Obakemono, Bakemono Sho. But hopefully he won't. I wouldn't like it, it would make me sad. But so I'll grab another priest, move him down here, have him crap out more skeletons every turn. Because, of course, reanimating skeletons is 3+, so 3, I think it's 3, 4, or 5 per turn, depending. Or I might even have him sit here turning the population into ghouls faster. If that's at all safe. As soon as I see troops, I'll have to run him away, of course, but it might be worth doing that just to build up a little more siege defense. My siege defense here is only 37, and down here is only 52. So I do want better siege defense. I'm getting up to where I have a substantial pile of sacreds. I've got 18 lictors there. I've got 33 in this army, so I'm up to over 50 lictors. Plus I have 14 knights, and down here I have 3 more. So that's 17 knights. And then up here I have an 18th. So I've got, like I said, I've got a substantial grip of sacreds. Actually, Foul Flesh is just gonna, they're just gonna, no, don't do that. Foul Flesh is just gonna stay here. Carnage can patrol with his troops. We can just put them all in a pile, that's fine. We won't patrol with the cavalry because it's useful, and we won't patrol with the ghouls because we want them to hold the fort. But just having people patrol with skeletons is honestly a pretty good use of time if you have a commander sitting around who isn't reanimating and can lead undead. All these ghouls should go in the pile. The Soulless should go in the pile. Yep, sounds good. So, yeah, I think taking the Statue of War was an excellent decision because although it is costing me upkeep, it's let me build up quite a few barbarians. I'm up to about 80 barbarians at this point, and barbarians pack a mean punch. I have a Timu here. If he dies, it's not much of a loss. So I'm actually could move him down here to take this province. I'm actually going to try to jump. I can't quite jump there. I'm actually just going to go in on the fort, I think. He'll die if Ulm is patrolling, but what I'm hoping is that Ulm is going to take this army and move it down here to join this army. And if they do that, then Itimu can bounce them. And of course, like I said, if they kill Itimu, no harm, no foul. I mean, I don't care. If he dies, he dies. It really doesn't affect me. And he has a shade with him because he spawns shades who have this steel strength ability. So we'll just set that shade on guard commander. And Itimu will go in and do his thing. He'll be able to cast Blessing. He should bless himself, so he'll cast Skeletal Body, Unholy Blessing. And let's do Unholy Power as well. Because that will give him more attack skill and more speed. And then we'll set him on attack rear. He'll be way down here, so possibly he'll be able to zip around behind the enemy and shank a mage or something. Actually, Unholy Protection might also help. What's his magic resistance? Only 16. Yeah, Unholy Power and then Unholy Protection. And he's casting the level 2 version of Unholy Blessing, right? Yeah. Because the level 1 version... Yep. No, makes no difference. So yeah, he'll cast those 4 spells. And then he will try to run around the back and kill some guys. And that will be fine. And for further distraction, we're going to take these guys and we're going to put them up there so that Ulm's troops gravitate in that direction. And we'll actually split them. Well, he's 33 hit points. His shade is 10. Those guys are 15 and these guys are 60. So that's 75 all told. Should be okay, but just to be sure, I'm going to leave one of them behind. So this is what we're going to do. So first the Soulless go in, then these guys go in to try and draw more troops that direction. And then Itimu, who will be combat speed 34, I believe, will run around the back. And so he'll go in and see if he can assassinate somebody. In the meantime... Foul Flesh. Yeah, just hang out here. Don't patrol, please, with your useful units. So yeah, so I should be getting some death gems next turn. I should be pretty much in the money. And even if Vanarus keeps coming in, they can't attack my forts effectively. So long as I remain able to concentrate my power. This is why I've been doing okay, is that I've been able to bounce my army back and forth. And I'm getting to the point where I might be able to divide it. I may be able to divide my army pretty soon to face Ulm and Vanarus. Vanarus is going to take my whole army. I might be able to divide it to face Ulm and Uruk if necessary, but we'll see. So, thanks for watching. This one's going to be pretty brief. Hopefully next turn will be a little bit more exciting because things are definitely starting to heat up. As soon as I hit Evocation 5, I will be going on the offensive for the first time in a long time. So look forward to that. Take care, and I'll see you in turn 22.